Hey guys, give me a second, I'll turn off the light. Alright. So, I know I said that the Mandeva M9 would be like my next complete gun that would come out, but there's been a change of plans, because I know there was a request for this gun that was put out like a long time ago, and I put out a teaser for it, and then I just never got around to filming it. So that gun is kind of more like important. So today we're going to be taking a look at the HBRa3 from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This is a Master Edition weapon. I call it a Master Edition weapon in particular because of this lower receiver, which is why there's a rendered image of it. There was so much work that went into this lower receiver that I despise the weapon so much because of just how much went into this lower receiver. The Magwell in the front there is 5 studs. The part that connects to the upper receiver is 3 studs. The pistol grip is 4 studs. The pistol grip, trigger guard, the lower part of the trigger guard anyhow, and the back part of the Magwell here, all of this is upside down. This is upside down. This is right side up. This is upside down. All of these bricks are sideways. These are right side up. That piece is sideways. These are sideways. This is upside down. Almost none of these bricks here are right side up like they should be. Almost all of these are upside down or sideways. It is so redonkulous that I lost so much sleep over this one particular model. So I just wanted to point that out. I did ask the group of friends that I hang out with what color the HBRa3 is, because you kind of can't really tell in game. They said light gray. I went with light gray originally, and then I didn't like how it looked, so I turned it into a different color. And the final color that I settled on was the tan with the darker brown highlights and stuff. So this is what the weapon looks like overall with the rendered LDD de Pavre image. This is truly a Master Edition weapon if I haven't made one before, because it is ridiculous how much work went into this weapon. You know why there's not iron sights on this gun or a magazine? Because I just got so fed up with how much work I had put into it that I did not want to touch the rifle anymore, which is why the review for it has come out like way after I finished the weapon. I just despise this weapon right now because of how long it took me to build it. So we're going to go ahead and pop open LDD, which has already been opened, APS Underwater Assault Rifle. So this is what it looks like in LDD from the exact same angle of the rendered image that you guys saw. We're going to start with the stock and work our way backwards. So first things first about the stock. These brown parts up here, the cheek well basically, is 5 studs. 5 studs. 1, 3, makes 5. The stock here, along these rails that you can adjust, are 5. This part of the stock is 3. 1, and 1, 3. These parts here are upside down, all the way up to here. These parts here are right side up. This is upside down, or wait, hold on, this one. All of these slopes here, right side up to this point, and then these pieces from here back are upside down. This gun just took so much time and effort. Look at the angle though. That's pretty much the HBRa3 stock's angle. I almost got it perfect. That's how much time went into this rifle. Of course, tops of these cheek wells are flat and curved on the side, so it's more comfortable against you. The stock is adjustable. All of this sits on these rail pieces that you see right here that I use for detail. It sits on those. You can adjust it back and forth. There's no locking mechanism, so technically, if this was built in real life, it just slide back and forth, no problem. But I figured I don't want to like degrade it with like a pin sticking on the side of it, so I just left it open. There's a little bit of an indent right here for extra detail. There's the cut right here where this part of the stock slides, but this part doesn't. Things like that. And then it comes into the collar here, which is curved on bottom, curved around the sides, and curved on top. And then we get into our lower receiver here. So the pistol grip, super detailed. As you can see, it's got the finger grooves in it, so the one finger sits here, the two sit down here, and then this one keeps it from falling off the bottom. Got the back part here. There's a little bit of a hump on the back, which is why you see this piece stick out more than these. You got the black rubbery pieces, I guess is what those are. Black. And then the darker brown. These two screws here. This is 4 studs. This trigger guard is 3 studs. That piece should be black. This bottom plate here is 4 studs, but above that is 3 studs. This right here is 3 studs running along here. There's a circle piece here, circle piece there. We get into the trigger, which does move. You can see the axle piece here. This piece is upside down, which is why you can see that one exposed stud. The curves necessary in the trigger guard and whatnot. And then there should be a fire selector right here where this hole is, but I didn't do that because, yeah, I'm just done with this gun. I really didn't want to fuss with it any more than what I had. And then we get into the Magwell, which is where the gun all started, by the way. It started with the idea of how I could make this Magwell look exactly like the in-game model. So it started with these pieces, which are flipped upside down pieces that you can see there, or now you can see. And they had to be upside down to get the proper angle because they don't make these pieces in the inverted. And 3 of them made the proper angle, plus the top part here, which just runs into the upper receiver nice, smooth, and just flat like that. And then these pieces here, these pieces there, those pieces, that piece there. And then you get your 3-stud wide magwell, which, by the way, this gray part that you're looking at is the top of the bolt, so there's nothing between the magazine and the bolt, just like a real gun. And then it curves up into what I'm going to assume would be a takedown pin if it works just like an M4. And then you get your upper receiver. And the upper receiver on this gun, by the way, 3 studs in the middle, 1 stud on either side, which makes it a 5-stud wide upper receiver, which I don't usually do. On this side we have the charging handle and bolt directly connected to the bolt. You can take and move the bolt back like this, technically. The bolt sits on these rail pieces just like the stock, and these things right here, you can see the line right on the inside. You can actually see it right here on the bolt where it comes into the side here. This side we have the shell ejection port, nothing really special. We have the little indent right here. It does actually indent. You can see the little gap right here between the 2 parts. It's black. I don't know what it's really used for. It's just there. Charging handle, which is curved, just like that. The barrel is exposed on the inside here, as is the gas reset block thingy. I'm going to assume that this is a gas tube that resets the bolt and whatnot, but it's there. As you can see, here's the barrel, and above that is what I'm going to assume is the gas adjuster. I have no idea. These are fictional guns. I have no idea how these things work. As you can see, these vents here are angled, just like the Tavor that I did. And then on top of that, they have the same angle up here. It should angle like this, and then come angle like that, and then curve back this way. But I didn't want to deal with that, so screw that. I did this method that you can see here. So yeah, that's how that worked. 3-stud wide rail system. Uses the same rail system that you have in game, which are the dots instead of just like solid lines. So instead of it being like this, it's it's dots and stuff. Went with that rail system on all of the rails. So it's on these side rails here, it's on these side rails here, but the bottom rail system is exactly like that. This here, a lot of people don't know what this is. This is a hand stop. So what do you use this for exactly? You put your hand on either side of this, whichever one you want, preferably the front side. I know that sounds retarded, but when your hand is wrapped around here, you pull back and you use this as leverage to keep the front end of the rifle down. but I don't think they really use it in the game. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know what it is. They think it's just there for detail, but no, that is actually a real working function on a real weapon. That is something that you can sell and attach. This forend is a little long, so it wouldn't make sense to have your hand stop way up here. I understand, like the Scorpion Evo, they have a hand stop on the front of it because your hand can fly up in front of the barrel, which is why that hand stop is there. But this particular hand stop, the reason they have it in the middle of the rail is so that your hand goes on the front of it and you can pull back and use it as leverage to keep the end of your barrel from rising. This is in the brown, and then the bottom part of the rail system is also in the brown, which is just like the rear rifle, or the in-game model, basically. So yeah, there's no sights to go over with because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I didn't want to mess with the sights, didn't want to mess with the magazine, didn't want to mess with a lot of things after finishing the rifle. The most basic thing on this entire thing is the upper receiver. The upper receiver was pretty straightforward. I knew how I was going to do the vents already. I knew how I was going to do the exposed barrel, the gas piston. I knew how to do all of that. The only problem that I really had was the lower receiver, the stock, and those two areas, because most of the bricks are sideways or upside down, and that's just a headache to do on LDD because there's so much experimenting that goes into it and whatnot. Like real life, you get to experiment just a little bit more, and it's super easy to take it apart, put it back together, things like that. You know how it's going to work in the overall picture. LDD doesn't really let you do that, which is why it took me so long to create this model. Barrel, super detailed. I love what I did with the barrel. I used the tire rim pieces here to give this a little bit more